in judgment as he only gets one.
And it cost him 4 pins. Boy, did that turn this match around in a big hurry. He went from leading 1 frame ago, and now he trails by 31.
We've seen some odd things happen here on lanes 33 and 34 this evening, so still plenty of bowling left at the halfway point, but that's a crucial mistake for Branham. Got to get back to the pocket. Sticks again. And this one high, and another break, I guess. No split.
Going into 6-10.
Looks like he might be just a little too keyed up, don't you think? I don't know.
He is definitely charging that foul line.
Yeah.
He just really is quick. The lanes are hooking, and he wants to maintain that speed. But just that shot in the 5th frame had to unnerve him completely.
I like his aggressiveness, but sometimes you got to harness it. Now let's see if Tom Kreitz can take full advantage. He's done so thus far this evening. He's already defeated Amleto Monacelli, Dave Husted, and Randy Pedersen. His opponents are averaging only 188. Meanwhile, Kreitz is at 208.3.
And he just jumped off his chair. He's ready to throw this shot. Careful professional shot. He didn't lift that one nearly as hard as he did one frame before, but he just wanted to float it out to the right and let the lane bring it back on lane 34.
Branham checks out the scoreboard, realizing that time is of the essence for him.
41 pins. The best George can get right now if he strikes out is 226. Right now, Kreitz is going at a 227 pace if he spare strikes out.
I think 226 would be enough to win.
That big room again, boy.
Not anymore, it's not.
Something bad's going to have to happen to him. He's just throwing the ball too well.
Well, it's amazing. You know, we chatted about it just before the championship game. I felt like George Branham might come out and really bowl well, and this one threw a great shot to open the match, left the solid 10, or solid 7 rather, and since then it's just been a struggle for him.
See, the better shot, that's the shot he was looking for in the 5th frame right there.
Well, his whole key now, though, is to say it's never too late. Let me get my double and sit back down and bide my time a little bit.
51 pins down with 3 frames to go. It can be done, but it hasn't been done too often. Absolutely goes without saying that he has to strike here in the 8th frame. And he did. Boy, just one errant shot.
Yep.
How it can turn a game around.
Now, if he strikes in the 5th.
Yeah, he's shooting 220 if he strikes in the 5th. He's 10 pins behind if he strikes there.
All right. Yeah, he's got the roll now. When you start tickling that 10 and 7, and that makes all the difference. But you get that roll going, and that's when you strike.
Somehow he's delaying the roll even more on this right lane, and that pin just dances around, touches the 7, and it falls over. Here's his reaction. Little hip twist there.
Mm-hmm. Looking for career PBA championship number 4, and he's heading in the right direction.
Absolutely perfect. Boy, he's throwing the ball just beautifully.
61 sticks down, and Mr. Kreitz is off and sprinting, and the tape is only about 10 yards ahead.
And if George does a strike here, Mr. Kreitz doesn't even need to show up for the 10th frame.
Needs a strike to stay alive. Oh! Look at George. He turns around and says, what else is new, huh? Oh, my.
And Randy Pedersen sitting over there having a Coke or something, thinking, boy, I could be winning this title now. There's Tom Kreitz looking at it and looking at the score, trying to figure out what it all means.
Branham trying to hang in there.
It's history.
But that's history right there. Well, George Branham with a game run in the 7th, 8th, and 9th, and a disappointed player he is, no question. Had a couple of tough breaks, but it was the shot in the 5th that really determined his fate here this evening. It was not a good one.
No.
And on the other side of the coin, when you get somebody like Tom Kreitz that's bowling so well that there's no room for error, you just can't afford to make that kind of a miscue.
When your opponent throws 8 out of 9 strikes at you, no matter what you're doing, it's difficult.
Well, George has to feel like the last couple of trips on television he's really been taken advantage of. Roth started with the first 11 in Buffalo last year. But it'll swing back the other way. Somewhere along the line, George Branham will get a couple of breaks, and he has already on television. There you see the top seed going to have to finish second with a check worth $8,250, and the Seattle Open champion right there, Mr. Tom Kreitz out of Tampa, Florida.
Well, he's earned it. He's gotten all the key strikes when he needed to get them. Got the break when Monacelli didn't double in the 10th frame, beat him the first match, and when Pedersen didn't double in the 3rd match to beat him then. Wow.
That's the sweet time on the PBA Tour when you're up, you're locked in, you're on national television, you get a chance to just stroke it out there and watch it come back.
Yeah, he's just throwing the ball so beautifully. Now, amazing. The scores were so low before. It's the same pair of lanes, the same bowling balls, same bowler. Suddenly they're all falling down now.
Yep, going to shoot nice 277 if he takes it off the sheet. And that's enough to win normally. Loose as a goose right now. They all look just like the one prior. Kreitz with a little thrust of the fist in the air. George Branham with a congratulatory handshake. And, well, what can you say? Tom Kreitz was the best player of the 5 here this evening. He did get a couple of breaks along the way, but he took advantage of them.
What a beautiful game. 276.
Well, it's a championship performance in the championship game, and they're on their feet here at Skyway Park Bowl in Seattle, Washington, in appreciation of Tom Kreitz, because when you shoot 276 for all the wheat, well, that's what it's all about on the PBA Summer Tour.